us off, man. Do the intro.
All right, guys. This is the Real Relate podcast. We're super excited to put you on today to a really awesome guest here, Gabe Vieira. Um, I won't tell you anything yet. I want him to do all the talking here. Gabe, can you go ahead and give us a nice introduction and tell us who are you today?
100%. Yeah. Boston kid, born and raised, doing throughout, just moving through life, trying to progress every single day. Currently the CEO of a cannabis startup, Zip Run. You know what we're trying to do here, we're just trying to give back to the community. That was the reason why we created Zip Run. Zip Run was created with the purpose of making life easier for people in the community that I grew up in, and all about taking it further. So yeah, who I am today, an entrepreneur, a student, a learner, a person that's always trying to grow every single day and move forward, move the needle forward, create an avenue of growth for young individuals growing up today. So that's who I consider myself today. And, pushing forward, we're going to continue to move the needle.
Moving the
Yeah,
needle.
there we
I
go.
like that. I like that. I like that, man. Like, just realistically, man. Like, give the people where you from right now. Where you sitting today? You know what I mean?
Today, we in Mattapan, Mass. We moving. I mean, in terms of what we doing, we just trying to, like I said, we just trying to push the needle. I'm trying to change the culture here in Massachusetts. People look at Massachusetts and like, this is Mass. There's not shit happening here.
Tell them. Tell them.
We're changing the narrative. I mean, we got a young group of core. Myself, Ellis, and my other co-founders. We just pushing the needle. We changing the culture, and that's what we're gonna do with Cannabis Delivery.
I like that. I like that. Just coming swinging. I like that shit, man. Whatchamacallit, though? I love it, man. You seem like you got it's like a real good soul, man. A real good energy, a real good vibe. I wish everyone could like sit down and like be here with us as we do this because your energy is crazy, man. I love it, bro. Like right off the rip, I love it. I love it, man. Just in general, how'd you come up with the idea for Zip Run? Like just in general, like give it like bring it down to the basics, the real basics.
I'll give you a story. So
Ooh, I like that.
Me and my boy Ellis, who was the co-founder of Zip Run, when we graduated UMass Amherst, we told ourselves, we're not gonna start a job for 6 months. So in those 6 months, from January to July, we gonna come up with the idea that could set us free forever. And in those 6 months, we met at the Hyde Park Library every single day until we came up with the idea of Zip Run. At first, it was like it was a clothing delivery company. It was something, it was whatever. And then eventually we came with the idea of cannabis delivery. And, from there, it wasn't possible. Cannabis was illegal at that point for delivery. And we knew, a couple years down the line, we'd be able to launch. And that was 2019, January 2019. And that's how we came up with Zip Run. We knew we could impact the cannabis community, the Boston community, the minorities here in Massachusetts. And through that, with this platform that we created, Zip Run is a technology platform that facilitates delivery and pickup. So we knew we could create something. We knew we could push the needle. We knew we could have people watch us and want to do what we're doing and easily implement that into their routine.
Damn.
Okay, nice.
Damn.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
a
that,
sick
man.
story. Yeah, meeting in the library and just like figuring out what kind of thing you want to do for 6 months. That's pretty sick.
It's like pressure, because it's like if I felt like I didn't make or come up with an idea in those 6 months, I'd be stuck doing corporate America for at least until I was like 30. So it's just like I do it or I'm gonna be doing this other option. So to me and him, it was just like, what are we really doing here? Are we gonna be a corporate America person for 5+ years? Or are we gonna work our way and become startup entrepreneurs, raise money, be successful, show people this is the way that you can do it? Because what's crazy in high schools, they really don't teach entrepreneurship. It's crazy. And the reason why they don't is, entrepreneurship is freedom. It's freedom by 35. It's freedom by 40. As long as it's freedom before 65, you really get in the bag, you get into it, and you get money. I mean, at the end of the day, freedom is everything. Money, people always think like money is the key to happiness, but like freedom is the key to happiness. And like us creating this company was our key to happiness, because at the end of the day, we can give back, we can show people what to do, we can show people what's next. And the biggest thing for us is, always making sure we're never leaving the community, because the community never left us.
Damn.
Damn, quote that right there.
Quote that shit,
I
man.
love that right there.
You heard that? Yo, talk that talk, man. I love that shit, man. Yo, you listening to Real Relay on Apple Podcast, Spotify, man. You hear this shit coming through this man's mouth right now? Listen to that shit. That shit fuels me, man. I love that shit. That's awesome, bro. That's why I love that. I love that, bro. That shit gets me fucking fired up, dude. Because it's like, you know, that's why I love doing the podcast as well too. Because it's like, yo, we meet, we bring people on, and they got this spark, they got this heat. You know what I mean? And I'm always sometimes, you know, as a business owner, like some days you don't feel like you want to get up out of your bed maybe sometimes, and you don't want to grind, or you know something's going on. Maybe you're dealing with something, and some days you're like, fuck, I don't want to deal with this. You know, like I'm upset or something. But like it's that heat, it's that ambition, it's that fire, man, that really gets you up going every single time, because you know where you came from, and you know what you got going in front of you. You know you got the whole community on your back. I love that shit, bro.
100%, bro.
Yeah. So what I really want to get into is one of the questions that was really intriguing me is like, how do you, you know, pick a team? Like, you know, Jose and I, and then we have Austin, our production guy, and all of our other team in the back. They're a huge part of the, you know, Real Relay fam, and you know, getting the engine going, keeping the engine going. But I know you said you have Ellis, and you have a few other guys too, like you know, Michael, Christian, and Doug. You know, how did those guys come about? Like, how do you bring them on? How do you go about creating a nice cohesive team to be your business partners, essentially?
Yeah, so when people always ask us how we brought our team together, when I first thought about it, I thought about how most, you know, Fortune 500 companies are made. They're never made off of diverse thinking. And like my perspective was, I'm black, Ellis is black, my two other co-founders are white. Obviously, we're missing women. We're still, I'll use this as an opportunity to say, like, we still want women on our team. We praise diversity. Diverse thought is everything, right? So having two black co-founders and two white co-founders, we bring that diverse thought together. And I know we can make something that can impact cannabis and also the tech industry, because there's never been a scenario or situation where we've had this many diverse groups of individuals come together to create something that's so powerful in the industry that's been so underserved for the Black and Latino community. So it's just like, and then on top of that, I mean, how I met everybody, Ellis, I've known, you know, I've known Ellis since I was younger, but we reconnected at UMass Amherst. Ellis met Christian and Michael Gordon through another startup called Echo Me, which is a music technology application. You should really get Ellis and Christian, one of them, on the podcast, because that was another company they were running. It's still up and going. They're still trying to make that move. But yeah, I got them together. Ellis is our chief growth officer. He's been big in the party scene here in Massachusetts. He created a company called Black Monarch. Christian Nicholson, Michael Gordon, you know, they both graduated from BC. You know, and then Doug is, he's like the rock that brings everything together. I always tell everybody, Doug is the eldest member of the team. He worked at TripAdvisor. I believe he was like one of their first 150 employees at TripAdvisor. So he really helped and was an instrumental piece in TripAdvisor's business plan. So bringing Doug together, he's our front end designer. Everything that an end consumer sees is because of that man. So it's just like, of course, Ellis and I, we come up with the designs, the inspirations, the emotion that we want people to feel. But Doug's the one that puts it together. So yeah, all in all, our team is made of people that I know have passion for cannabis. And I felt it from the moment I ever talked about them. It was never about the money. It was about how could we change this industry for the better. And once I heard that out of every individual's mouth, I was like, yeah, we need these people. And I don't want to go anywhere else.
Mm. Wow, that's really that's exactly what I wanted to know, and like what I wanted to hear, and that's really cool to, you know, to listen to, honestly, because with only like, I was like 5 of you, right?
Yeah, 5 of us. So Doug is not a co-founder, because Doug came on the team last year, May 2020, as a contractor. Then he came on full-time September 8th. But prior to that, it was us four: Chris, myself, Ellis, and Michael, call him Gordy. Yeah, we were the co-founders of this business, but Doug's been with us, you know, from, honestly, not the start, but pretty damn near close. And the work he's put in is like a co-founder. So I treat him as if he's a founder of Zip Run.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm just like taking a look at like their, you know, their LinkedIn's and stuff. Michael, he's a software engineer. So is he like more like the application development side of things, like the
Yep.
CTO in a way?
Yeah. So Mike is the CTO. Ellis is the chief growth officer. Christian Nicholson is our chief operations officer, and Doug is our principal web developer.
Okay, cool. So Ellis, as the chief growth officer, like, is he the ones that's like making the cold calls, doing the meetings for like all the dispensaries and stuff, trying to get them to like take a look at Zip Run and like potentially set up business to do business together?
Honestly, that's really a lot of me right now. I mean, Ellis and Christian, they're a big piece to it. So is with Michael and Doug, but most so that's really me. Doing all the calling to dispensary partners, setting up all these meetings, pretty much giving them a demo of the platform. So yeah, I mean, we all have an integral piece in it. But for the most part, I'm sales. That's all I do. Because before sales, it was all about getting money in the door, raising money. How can I raise money as quickly as possible so that we can build this thing and really go to the moon, like everyone says? Like, that's really what it's about, going to the moon. How could we take this and inspire as many people as possible? So yeah, sales. I do that. I breathe that. After this call, I'm going to go back to it. So it's just like after this interview, after this podcast, I'm going right back to sales. That's just how it goes. It's how it's forever going to be. I mean, we got connections with people in Colorado, Cali, Illinois. So, of course, Massachusetts is our beachhead market where we're going to reside at, where we want to make the most impact on. But there's markets out there that we see an opportunity to create the same change that we're trying to do here in Massachusetts.
Damn. Sometimes
that's dope.
Shit, man. Sometimes we have people on. I'm like, fuck, am I doing this shit right?
I know, right? It's like
shit.
I mean, different platforms hit different crowds, hit different people. It just so happens to be cannabis is something that, it's filled with emotion. When you indulge in cannabis, I feel like you're one with yourself. Not to say you aren't without it, but I feel like it really helps you understand and come together of who you want to be. I'll be honest with you. Half the times when I'm high, I come up with new proposals in my head of how we can make the platform better for people that smoke, people that don't smoke, for people that want to use it for sleep, people that want to use it for pain relief. I'm telling you, being high is really a lot of the reasons why I came up with a lot of ideas that you'll see when Zip Run is launched to the world. And same goes with my other fellow co-founders.
I like that, and we gonna support you guys over here because I'm loving what I'm hearing so far, man. I always, I love that. Barber, keep going. Don't even have me talk anymore. Go ahead, Barber. Keep doing your thing, man.
Nah. So I went on Crunchbase, saw what's public on Crunchbase is you've raised 35,000. How that first round, like that angel round, come about, the 35K, and any potential funding rounds that we can see in the future?
Yeah, that was special right there. So I'll be honest with you. Two of my really closest friends in a group that we call Black Monarch, one of them invested 10K, the other invested 5K. So that was the first 15. The next 20 came from other individuals that were a bit older than us, but they believed in our dream, believed in our effort. That was the next 20K right there. That came from about maybe like 5 or 6 people. And then crazy enough, we ended up getting to 365K by the end of August. And then as of, let's say, a couple of days ago, we just took in the entire fund to increase our final raise to 2.3 million. So crazy. I mean, it was a long journey. I didn't know where it was going to start. I'll be the first one to tell you, when I first started pitching to companies, I didn't know what I was doing. I had an idea of what I was doing. My pitch wasn't the best. It got better over time. But the people that really are like, how do I do it? How do I pitch the VCs? What should I say? What shouldn't I say? As long as you know your product, that's all that matters. Who can tell you more about your product than they can? No one else can tell you about your product. You know everything about it. So it's just like, it gets better. But yeah, 2.3 million. It sounds like, I tell you, it was like the biggest sign of relief. But one thing I did realize is what a lot of people did tell me is raising money is over celebrated, because you could raise 40 million and your business could still fail.
True.
So it's just like 2.3 million, round of applause, but the work is not, it's just getting started.
Yeah, I love that.
We got to change lives. And what I mean by that is what we're doing here at Zip Run is we've built a technology platform, but we're also working with other social equity members within Massachusetts that also want to deliver a product themselves, that have built their own business. So what we're doing is we're taking our platform that we created, we're using it we're pretty much licensing it at a discounted price or discounted rates for other social equity members in the space so they can make millionaires out of themselves. We want to create a platform for all so that people could really see that this company, Zip Run, is changing the trend, changing how tech platforms should be created, changing how drivers should be treated. Our drivers aren't contractors. They're employees for a reason. One is state mandated, but I love the fact that it's state mandated because now that we can really treat them how they're supposed to be treated and not how they're normally perceived when they work for these larger companies.
That's so very very different from like a Uber or a DoorDash, Grubhub type of deal.
Yeah, 100%. Like I tell everybody, come work for Zip Run. We lease or buy the vehicles. You don't drive your own vehicles. You don't spend your own miles. You don't mess your own cars up. You drive Zip Run vehicles. You just get in the car, you drive, you deliver cannabis. If you love cannabis, that sounds like the job for you, honestly. So it's just like a lot of opportunities. It's not just drivers. We want to hire people at the executive level, at every level of our business, because we're not all about having a glass ceiling at Zip Run. That's not the thought, never will be the thought. It's all about promotion, expansion, and growth.
You hear that, man? Zip Run is hiring. They're hiring.
They
want more. They want more females. They want more female perspectives, and they want drivers, man. They tell you, man. You hear that? I love that, man. But you see, when you said 2.3 million ain't a lot, but when you see them commas coming, you're probably like, damn, that's nice.
Oh, 100%. You know, I seen it on my phone the other day, and I was just like, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, man. That's like, you see that commas come in. See those comments coming, you're like, damn, man, shit. Barber was telling me the other day. He's like, yo, the Zip Run shit's kind of crazy. He's like, maybe we should work for them. I was like, motherfucker, don't you? That's what we trying. I was like, motherfucker, that's what we trying to build our own platform. Like, what God?
Hey, we can always partner. I tell everybody build your own shit, but we can always come together, partner, and really make something magical happen. So at the end of the day, like I said, I need to get all my co-founders telling their own stories. At least some of them, for the most part, because I know a lot of them got real personalities. So we need them up here.
Hey man, send them to Real Relay. We'll make that shit sign. We'll be the adult Disney World right here, Fred. We'll make that shit make that shit Magic Kingdom fucking magic over here. You know what I mean? I love that. That's crazy, bro. So recently you were in the Boston Herald, man. Talk about how that came about, man, because that shit was crazy, man.
Yeah, that was crazy. So one, they forced me to take that picture. One, they said the article couldn't go up unless I took the picture. So I was like, I bet I'll take the picture. Two, prior to that Boston Herald article, we had an article of Mass Live. So I kind of used that. My partner and I, Ellis, we used that to kind of facilitate this Boston Herald article. So that was crazy. I mean, it was just a way of getting my face out there, putting some realness to a company, right? Because a lot of companies, you see the brand, you see, for example, you'll see the Zip Run brand, you see a couple of products that we sell, you see things that we deliver. The whole purpose of that was to get people in tune and see the humility that I have as a CEO of Zip Run. See, I'm real, I'm personable. I'm just trying to make this experience that people don't forget when they order from Zip Run, whether it's pickup or delivery. So yeah, the Boston Herald article was big for us. We had a lot of people hit us up. We had a lot of people follow us on IG. We had a lot of people just really recognizing that Zip Run could be bigger than what a lot of people expected it to be. So yeah, that Boston Herald article really put us on a map. It really, separated us from what people thought we weren't or were going to be. So yeah, Boston Herald was great. There's not really much to say about it. It just put us on a map. People heard about it. Zip Run is for real, and it's not leaving. It's here to stay.
I love that, man. It's like, okay, yo, the doubters, all right, check. Okay, we check. We out. We really here. We really outside. I love that, man. I love that. It's so dope. It's like, shout out to the Boston Herald too, man. That's crazy. They're gonna put people on the map like that, and it really elevated. Like I said, it cemented you, and maybe deep down inside, it made you really be like, yo, this shit. There's no turning back. There's no turning back now. 100%. I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Yeah, I was locked in. Once I saw that, and I was like, yeah, my face is out there. I was like, yeah, I can't turn back now. People are gonna be like, 5 years. What happened to you? You was on the Boston Herald. What happened to your company? I thought it was gonna do something. I can't let that happen.
Nah, you can, bro. You can't be like Blueface and fall off, bro. Come
on. 100%. Can't do that. He's nobody now.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Barber. What you got?
Yeah. So, we already talked the growth of the business. So I guess in terms of next steps as the business, like, what's like that, 5-year plan, maybe 10-year plan? I know very different from like a Uber or Grubhub in terms of like your drivers aren't like 1099s, they're employees. So like, what do you see as with this 2.3 million? What can we see in terms of growth? I know you said you guys are going live maybe April or June, but like what's the next steps with this new round of funding?
Yeah, so pretty much showing up our tech platform. Basically showing them whole Massachusetts dispensary scene, like we're here to stay. We're competitive with the other software players in the game. It's really just to expand our footprint in the Massachusetts market, take our footprint here, expand that into the Colorados, the Illinois, the Calis of the world. But yeah, that 2.3 million is going to really go towards tech, really go towards the marketing efforts of our business, really getting people to understand that we're trying to be the social equity technology partner platform of the future. We're a little bit different. We're Black owned, we're minority owned, or whatever you think we are, that's what we are. We're a business that's just trying to strive for greatness. That 2.3 million, it's going to change lives. Like I always say, like we're going to give back to the community. And one thing that I always will forever stretch, Zip Run, we want to be a company that's supporting the disproportionate areas in Massachusetts, honestly, to prevent the continuation of an inequitable status quo. And what essentially that means is a lot of people were harmed through marijuana prohibition along 80s, 90s. Obviously, we can't change all that, but we can help change people's mindsets, get them to understand there's equity in this cannabis business. It's in its infancy stages. Why not take advantage of it? Because if you don't, you're going to look 10 years from now and be like, shit, there's a lot of billion-dollar companies in cannabis. I could have had $1 million one. Just that simple. So it's just like, and again, it's not about the money, it's about the opportunity that presents itself. Yeah, billions, millions, that all sounds good. But if you can change people's lives slowly over time, and I believe we can do that. So how we're doing that is, like I stated earlier, yes, we're a delivery company. Yes, we're a tech platform, but because we are both, it allows us to use our tech, license it out to other social equity members that want to create their own delivery company that don't have the means to create a tech platform. So they'll host their products, their business on our website, use our platform to promote their brand so that we can create pockets of success in Massachusetts and all across the country to give back to the community.
Question. So in that aspect, is it like a Shopify or like a Depop or like an Etsy?
Yeah, so no, it's more like, so have you ever seen, like, if you go on like DoorDash, right? They like support Black businesses or something of that nature, right? In this scenario, it's more so, unfortunately, to create a tech platform, it takes hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you don't have the connection to raise money, the easiest thing for you to do is to create a delivery company, right? Get a couple cars, get some employees, and just deliver. Don't worry about the tech piece. So we built that tech piece. All we do is we allow these social equity members, because we want to help them grow, we want to help them succeed. We honestly give them our tech platform for essentially free, where these other big companies would charge them a monthly fee for the services. We ain't trying to do that. We don't want to take your money before you get started. We just want to give you the platform so you can expand and get bigger and bigger and better. So we promote them on our website because we have a lot of top advertisement placement there. And then we also give them a platform and connections to meet potential partnerships, and that can help them elevate and grow themselves. Like one of the things that we're doing currently as of right now, we have a couple partnerships with dispensaries. And through that, we're taking those partnerships and telling social equity members here, we're not going to deliver in this part of Massachusetts for maybe a year or so. How about you take it? We don't need to monopolize this market. There's been enough companies that have been trying to monopolize shit. We just want to help people grow. So there's success in this field for everybody.
Okay, I think I'm following now. So I guess follow-up question to that, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, if it's too much to put out there.
Uh-huh.
How does Zip Run make money then if it's licensing their platform for free essentially? What's the business model behind it?
100%. Yeah, I mean, what we do is we take a percentage of the ticket, just like a DoorDash or GoPuff would. So, for example, what I'll say is, if there's $100 order, we take a small percentage of that order, and then we go from there. When we charge a delivery fee, our delivery fee is anywhere between $1.99 and $2.99. So we make our money off that small fee for the percentage of the ticket, and as well as a delivery fee. So, obviously, as we expand into other states, it's going to allow us to gain more revenue because there's going to be more attention along Zip Run. But the point here in Massachusetts, we'll make a lot of money doing it the way of taking a small fee of the ticket. But the real power is your brand known. Like, Cookies brand in California.
Choo! Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on.
That's what we trying to do, but for the tech industry in cannabis. They got the dispensary. Let's take that and flip it into the tech and say, we could provide that same platform, but from a tech side. Yeah, ask your questions. That's a big topic right there. Cookies. That's a company that we love to see. The branding is amazing, and they're for the people. People.
I know Adrian gonna watch this right now, and Leo, they're gonna watch this shit and be like, that Cookies word just triggered me right now. Listen, man, the thing about Cookies, man, right? I went out to California for the first time, and shit was a movie, bro. I went out there, had a great time, and my buddy Adrian, who's part of Real Relay, he's a photographer and everything, and he's actually head of our production and everything. And he's like, yo, listen, we're gonna go out, we gotta take you to Cookies. And I'm like, what the fuck is like a bakery? You know what I mean? I'm fat. Like I mean, I said I don't mind if I do. You know what I mean? Like I would get triple chocolate chunk. He goes, no, you idiot. It's a dispensary. It's like a really famous dispensary. I was like, bet for sure. So we went out there and I loved it. You know what I mean? It was like blue all around. They got mass security, first of all. It's crazy. You go in there, it's blue, and everything's laid out super nice, super fancy. They got the Drake playing in the background. They got the ambiance. They got the sound. They got they got the baddie employees. You know what I'm saying? Like showing you around, showing you the stuff. My one issue with them is that which I was talking to Leo about this, and he was saying they can be kind of rude. You know what I mean? They could the employees and the people there can be kind of rude and kind of disrespectful. And when they're showing you around and stuff like that, like if you're not like Lil Durk or Lil Baby going in there, they're gonna treat you like whatever the fuck you are. You know what I mean? And not necessarily for me. For me, it's been cool, but I heard for a lot of people, they don't treat you like the other dispensaries in the area, which don't really get a lot of shine because they treat like family. You go in there a couple times a week and you treat like family, like, oh, what's going on, blah blah blah, and they really take the time. Cookies is like, we got the brand, we got the name, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna grab this shit and grab your money and upcharge you and try to sell you the highest one and get the fuck out. You know what I mean? They got the merch and shit like that. So, my big thing is granted, it hasn't been my experience, but I've heard that a lot about the brand. So moving forward for Zip Run, it's keep that in mind as well too, man. Treat your customers and your people like you're like a locally owned dispensary, like a family. You know what I mean? Don't get too don't be like Cookies where they little OD sometimes and they level headed. But I love me some Cookies, bro. Every time it's so
like you said, we're trying to make sure our customer experience is A1. One thing we pride ourselves on is our user experience from a tech standpoint. And what I mean by that is when you see our website, when we launch, we give it a social media flair. And what I mean by it is we're trying to make our cannabis Zip Run community feel like they're in a place of happiness, of whatever you want it to be. We don't want to describe your experience for you. We want you to take whatever experience that you have coming into the Zip Run platform and saying, this is what I can get here. This is the product that suits me. At the end of the day, a lot of things suit people differently. We just want to be able to tailor to everyone's needs. So yeah, to your point, we came from humble beginnings. My goal is to never switch up on nobody because I damn sure I've seen people switch up on me, and that's not a great feeling. So it's just I don't want to relay that message. I want kids to look at the Zip Run brand and what we created outside of sports, outside of music. They always publicize shit like that. Entrepreneurship is the way to go for some people. For some people, it's not. But just know it's always an avenue out there for those that aren't interested in sports, interested in music. Entrepreneurship is a way to go, and I'm always going to lean on my morals and say, let's not switch up on nobody. Let's always stay true to who I am, and that's a Boston kid. I've been that from day one, and I'll never switch.
Fun. I heard they're actually, to go off that, I heard they're actually opening a Cookies in Cambridge. That's what I heard. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like I said, it's coming over here as well too. So I'm saying, I think, like you said, customer service and that love goes a long way, man. that shit goes a long way. Like we were talking to Falco, right? Right, Barber. Falco says he eats like the shipping price for like some of his like for his orders and shit. And I'm like, he was telling me like he's laying down the whole pricing and everything, and he eats some of these fucking prices because he just wants to put the product in the people's hand because he loves his fans, he loves his people, and that's what I'm hearing from you as well too. Like you know you have this real love and shit like that. So don't like I said, I don't think you're ever gonna lose it, but that's so important, man. Like people notice that shit, whether it's in social media, brick and mortar stores, whether in doing business, man. Never switch up. You know what I mean? And just do what you gotta do to fucking secure the bag, baby. You know what I'm saying? Secure that shit.
Yeah, we trying, we just pushing towards trying to be as successful as we possibly can, just like you guys are doing. I mean, this is so far. I'm be honest with you, like this has been great from the first time we got on the call before the recording started to where we are now. I felt like I'd known you guys for a little bit longer than I probably should have, because you guys have been that good. You're good people. So it's just like we got to keep this train moving.
Oh yeah,
We
for sure, man.
appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure, man. I mean, my mom be like, that's good because my mom be thinking I'm a Nimrod sometimes. She being like, this fucking kid, man. Like I can't stand this motherfucker. You
You
know
know
what
how
I mean?
our parents are.
You know how that shit be, man. That shit's crazy, but we appreciate, it, man. Like I just had a gut feeling that I knew you were gonna be a good guy, man. I knew it. You know what I mean? Barbara, keep asking the questions, man.
Yeah, back to the scheduled programming.
Back to it.
Now, big question that's in my head, honestly, that I'm always paying attention to in the news as well. When do you foresee federal legalization of marijuana?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Let's hear it.
Everyone thought the Biden administration was going to be one to push the needle forward. Honestly, I can't even tell you when. The cannabis industry doesn't really need to be federally legalized for it to keep expanding, because once people try the product, to me that's job well done. It can get federally legalized whenever it wants to get federally legalized, but as long as we're pushing the point that cannabis is helpful from a medical and a recreational standpoint, that's all I care about. Of course, federally legalizing cannabis will be helpful for banking purposes, right? For a lot of cannabis companies. But hopefully by the end of the year. But I don't really put much thought into it, because it's just like you only can control what you can control. That's always a question that people want to know. I wish I always had a better answer. The government's going to do what the government got to do. But if all the cannabis companies stay focused, they grind to make cannabis that emerging industry that everyone expects it to be, we're going to be there. Whether it's this year, whether it's next year, whether it's the year after that. I know by 2023, 2024, we should be at that point. So, and that's when
Sir.
that's when the shit's gonna get lit. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, but New York is in the process of finally they claim they legalized it, but it's gonna take about a year or two before recreational dispensaries get up and running as it did in every other state. So we know, right?
That's huge.
That's
massive.
New York.
Massive.
We gonna be over there.
We outside. Bro, we outside.
Be over there.
If you think about it, like a lot of the inequities like began in New York. Like, I mean, I'm no historian, but like, New York City, like Brooklyn, Bronx.
Keep going. Like, you got the boroughs.
I got the boroughs.
Brooklyn, you gotta say all of them. You can't just stop it there.
Queens, Manhattan, whatever. Like a lot of African Americans, especially proportionally, were like targeted and locked up for like petty weed charges. So like the fact that New York is doing this is going to be huge. And here's my prediction, and I'm no all-seer or whatever, but we're in the blue wave right now. Biden and Kamala, and then all the senators and Congress people, blue wave, like we're getting a lot of legislation passed. My guess is within the next 2 years, because the midterms come up in about 2 years, we'll see either like some type of legislation or maybe executive order, something like that in the next 2 years. And if not, then my guess is like after the midterm elections, it's probably not going to be a full, blue Democratic, like liberal wave, because there'll probably be some Republican senators or, Congress people that get put in because that's just how things go sometimes. but definitely within the next 4 years, I think, like you said, for sure.
Yeah, next 4 years is definitely the goal. I mean, like I said, regardless of what happens, cannabis is still going to be booming. The consumers are going to love cannabis, and that's what really matters. As long as we can teach the consumers, federalizing weed, it's already federalized in my mind. People is already out here smoking it, been smoking it, going to continue to smoke it, going to continue to consume it how they want to consume it. So it doesn't, like, at the end of the day, it matters, but as long as we, Zip Run as a company, cannabis as an industry keeps moving forward, we're gonna be straight. It's gonna come one day.
I got a question, right? Like, I
It's
feel
gonna be a
like
good one.
I'm
Go
pretty.
ahead. Ask your question. It's gonna be a good one.
I'm pretty deep in this bottle of wine. Not gonna lie, but anyway, whatchamacallit? What do you say to people that have a negative connotation towards marijuana? You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of people that I know, whether they're adults and then like parents, like older people, and then they teach their kids that marijuana is bad, that marijuana is terrible. It makes you drowsy. It doesn't help your thinking. It just makes you a shitty person. Like, what is your response to something like that? You know what I mean? Because I don't want to even say a few names, but I know a couple close people who's like, my mom and dad think this about marijuana. It just makes you a shitty person. Like, and there are pros and cons to any type of drug, like alcohol, marijuana, shrooms, anything. But what do you kind of say to the pros and cons of that? You know what I mean? Of marijuana?
Yeah. So the first question I asked is like, when's the last time you consumed marijuana? If so, if any, right? After I asked that question, it's just like, why do you think this? Who put this mindset into your head to think marijuana was so bad for you? What about alcohol? What is that? That's supposed to be the savior? Like, you don't get headaches after you smoke and get high the next day. Don't happen to me. I wake up, fresh start to the day. So it's like, for me, it's just like, educate yourself. And what I normally do with people like that, I just send them a couple materials, but that ain't going to change someone's reality. You just got to give them some product. So what I tend to do, what I do with my grandfather, for instance, he always calls it drugs this, drugs that. One day I said, you know what? Try this. See what it does for you. You might not like it recreationally, but you'll like it for sleep. What happens? Takes edible, goes right to sleep. Now he's hooked on it. So it's really as simple as try it. You never know until you try something. A lot of people just talk because they hear. It's all hearsay. Why do that? Why waste time going back and forth with someone that already has their strong beliefs? So it's just like, it's either you're going to try it or you're not going to try it. So it's just like, I'm not about to force your opinion, my opinion on you, and vice versa. So it's just like, try it. I'll give it to you. If you don't like it, cool. But if you fall in love with it, don't tell me I told you so.
But I told you so. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. I went to Amsterdam, and it was like, yo, everything's legal over there. You go, me and my buddy Connor Rosenstein, we went out to this bar, and it was like, sir, like, here you go. Would you like a breakfast sandwich, a coffee, and what type of marijuana would you like? You know what I mean? Would you like me to roll it up for you? Would you want to roll it up yourself? Do you want a bong? And it's like crazy because he's like, you can openly smoke out there. Everyone's chill out there. It's because everyone's smoking and everyone's having a good time. You know what I mean? It's not like just strict, like fucking chained up, like, oh my God, this shit is crazy illegal. You know what I mean? Everyone's relaxed. Everyone's vibing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not relaxed. That's why everyone Cali's a vibe. You know what I mean?
Cannabis is a vibe. I tell people all the time, it's a vibe. It's a real vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. And that first when marijuana becomes like 100% legal in New York, that first Woo Back Wednesday finna be crazy. You know what I mean?
Yo, when we get rec dispensaries in New York, it's gonna be a movie.
Yeah,
New York is gonna be a movie. I can't wait.
We ready, you know what I mean? Like, Lil Baby, all these rappers be going to fucking cookies and shit like that. Fuck that. We gonna get them on Zip Run now, you know what I mean? We gonna support. That's the only shit I'm smoking now. You know what I mean? When that shit go live. That shit Zip Run. That shit's lit. That's crazy. What, like, for the people back home, what the specific the name? Like, how did you get the name exactly?
You know what's crazy? Because back in the day, I didn't really smoke like that, right? So like when I came up with the name, so first the name was called Dope Run, which is crazy. A lot of people it was first called Dope Run, and then like me and my team was just like, you know what? People really go put this on a TV screen called Dope Run? And probably not. So we was just like, what's a better name for us?
I'm gonna sell a Zip.
100%. And then Zip, you talk about Zip, that's right. And then like Well, most people think. I was like, you know, how are most people gonna think what a zip means? Because if you in weed, if you smoke, you know what a zip is. You know what a zip is. It's that meaning, and then you get something in a zip, something really quickly.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like had double meaning to it. So it's just like it works. For people that don't know what cannabis is, get your shit in the zip. For people that do know what it is,
We getting a zip.
you about to cop a zip. So it's just like both sides gonna get it. Either way, if you don't get it, you're gonna get one, you're gonna get something. It's just like at the end of the day, we provide an experience. So whether it was called Dope Run, Zip Run, I mean, both names to me was instrumental. It was out of the ordinary. It was something that would strike a movement, strike a thought. And that was the whole point of doing it and making the name Zip Run, Dope Run. So obviously Zip Run is the final and full name that we're gonna use. But yeah, you know, it's just crazy. We had to change that name, unfortunately, but you know, might make come back somewhere in some other product that we create, you know.
You gotta do something like OG merch or something like that. You know what I mean? And like something like that too, like a throwback. That'd be pretty lit. Anyway, what you call it? I was gonna ask. So I was talking. We were talking about this earlier. My uncle owns a company called Trella Technologies. How open are you to like working with like we talked about it earlier on the podcast and everything? But how open are you to like working with other people on the in like within the marijua industry? Like Trella Technologies, they've built like we're gonna get them on the podcast too. Essentially, like I said, it's my uncle has created like I said, a machine and a machine to like grow marijuana like vertically, horizontally, and like these tight spaces. Like, how likely are you to work with like other people in the industry? Essentially, like people like Trella, you know what I mean, to reach out,
100%. Yeah, very open. I mean, at the end of the day, there's not a relationship that I'm not ready to form. We're
Mm.
not ready to forge. So it's just like to me, I want to meet as many people as I possibly can in this cannabis industry. Because the people think it's a lot of people really in here. It's a tight circle. So knowing as many people as possible, working with as many people as possible is what we're trying to do. Because if we're gonna all be a part in this cannabis industry, you can't do that in an industry that's still so young. So with that being said, put, plug us together. I want to have a conversation. I want to see how we can work with each other and see how we can, do something different. Show people that we're here and we're here to stay.
I know a long time ago he asked me. He was like when he first started, he was like, "Yo, like, I would like some followers. I know you're young, and blah blah blah." Like, because he's a little bit on the older side, and he's like, I know you have the connection to the social media. Like, how can you help me? And like, at the time I felt like, damn, like I want to help him, but I don't know how. But little did I know I'll be starting something like this. So now it just took some time for me to help him out. You know what I mean? And like I think maybe looking at you guys, maybe something happens, maybe something does. But I'm gonna send him a text. I'm gonna see what y'all maybe can do together. You know what I mean? But that'd be pretty lit. But that's just my personal take on that. Barber, what you got?
No, I mean, I got nothing. I was actually, I just came up with a funny name, in my head. If shrooms becomes legal, you could call it Shroom Zoom. No, no,
Maybe next time, Barber.
Yo, why you feeling like though? Hey, that's when I tell you, I don't remember the first names that we had for dope runs, zip runs, but they were crazy. And I mean, I remember people would tell me like all the time, yo, those names ain't gonna work. It's not it, but anything works. I've seen the craziest names in the cannabis industry. You would never think it flies. I ain't gonna say no names, but anything works. Trust me.
Talk that shit. Talk that shit. Talk your competitors. No, I'm just kidding. But you think about it, right? You look at the tech companies like Apple. Who the fuck would think
that? I'm saying.
Do you think people really looked at them and said, "You're fucking dumb for calling it that"? You know what I mean?
A tech company called Apple.
A tech company called Apple. Are you fucking dumb? You know what I mean? Like,
bro,
the biggest company in the fucking world. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
It's a fucking fruit. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Apple.
That's a baseline right there. Don't ever think nothing's not possible, bro. You know what I mean?
Everything works. Everything works. Whatever, like, don't listen to people that always get like. There's always some people when you create something special, they're gonna always give you your opinion. They're always gonna give their own opinion. Everybody got opinion. It's cool to listen, but like after that, why aren't you doing it?
Like
all opinions.
Someone told us they they were like, yo, why you want to, like, for example, for you as well too, like, why you want to create this? Why do you want to create this? Like, there's been a million people before you that have tried to create something like this or try to do something like this. Why? What makes you so special? How are you gonna do it different? And I go, like, there's been a million people before you've done it. I go, oh yeah, name one.
100%.
And you can't. I go and I go now right now, name one that you know that you know, and be like you can, because guess what? They fucking tried. They tried and they kept it going. You know what I mean? They didn't just give up. They didn't just stop. You know what I mean? That's as simple as it is. You know what I mean? You're gonna either listen to people and just fucking stop and give you up your dreams, or you're gonna fucking, like, you know what? Yeah, it might not be the best thing, it might not be this and that, but it's about the concept behind it. It's about the people behind it. It's about the love behind it. You know what I mean? That's what people are gonna really see. They gonna see if you're Gabe. They're gonna see if you're fake, bro. They're gonna know if you fucking fake, bro. They're gonna fucking see it, bro.
They're gonna see it.
They gonna see it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I go outside. I go wherever. I go on the streets, wherever the fuck I go. I'm outside. People got questions for me. I answer them whenever the fuck. I don't give a fuck how big or small I am. I'm always gonna stop and ask fucking questions. Send out a text, like a message. I'm always available. You know where the fuck I am. I have my location on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always available for the people.
That's
We did it.
100. Yeah. You got to. When
You
you
got
create
it.
a
You got it.
platform, when you create a platform, you're gonna have people that look up to you, and that's what I realized.
Mm-hmm.
People that you don't even know that's looking up to you, that they be looking from afar and be like, "Yo, what you creating is low key,
Dope.
different. It's dope. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I wish I could have done." But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, anybody can do everything, and like you're saying, like it's all about, like, from a podcast standpoint, from a zip run standpoint, everything's content is key. Consistency is key. You keep pushing shit out, something's gonna come back your way, and that's just how I think about it.
It just takes one, bro. That's all it
Oh yeah,
takes.
it takes one.
Just takes one. Just
One
take
hit, one hit will give you 1 million followers, 1 million views.
one hit. That's all it fucking
One
takes, man.
hit.
And you know what? And even if you never get that, fuck it. At least you tried, man. You can't take an L if you have fun, man. That's all fucking happens. At least we gave a shit and we tried to get out of the fucking box. We tried to get out of the hamster wheel. We tried our best. You know what I mean? I'd rather do that than fucking hate my job and just sit at a fucking desk all day. You know what I mean? Like, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. That's the grind. You know, you gotta pay your dues. You know what I mean? I get it. You know what I mean? But yo, listen, man. Like I said, entrepreneur lifestyle. That's how it fucking is, bro. By the end of the day, it's about connecting people to me. You know what I mean? That's all it's about. And it's for you, it's the same way too. You want to connect people. You know what I mean? You have this internal shit that you went through, and you want to be like, yo, how can I make the world better? Because after the shit that I went through, you know what I mean? Essentially, right? It's the bottom line, right? You know, you wanna be out there.
Bottom line is, if I can better myself, what's stopping me from helping to better someone else's life? So it's just like, there's plenty of opportunity for you to give back without having anything. I think that's what people forget. Like, people always think you got to be on top to give back. You can give back. Someone needs to go to college. They can afford it. Their parents can't afford it. $50, $100, whatever you can afford. That's giving back right there. You don't need to be a millionaire, billionaire to give back to the community. We don't need to be $100 million company for me to say, let's start a scholarship fund. We don't need to do that. So that's our goal. Like, you can hold this to us. Like, by Christmas, by Thanksgiving, we want to do turkey drives. We want to do toys for tots. We want to give back to the kids. We want to teach them about owning things, being an entrepreneur, being different than what the school system teaches you. So it's just like, at the end of the day, that's what we about.
Yeah, for anyone listening, bro, really, I don't give a fuck if it's 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter how many people it is. If we can do it, that's really that's really what we're trying to do. If we could do it, anyone could fucking do it. Don't ever think that you can't fucking do it. If you're in class, if you're on YouTube listening to this shit, you're on Apple, you're on Spotify, whatever the fuck you're doing, you can do it. You can do it, bro. You got it, man. Like, just try, bro. You know what I mean? Don't listen to all the backlash. You know what? Maybe some of the backlash is true. Fuck, at least you tried. You know what I mean? Like, some people are not even gonna try for the rest of their life. And like I said at the beginning, like, they're gonna be in that nursing home at 80 years old, and they're gonna be like, damn. I wonder I wonder what would have happened if I would have pushed Zip Run. I wonder what would have happened if I would have pushed Real Relay. I wonder what would have happened. I don't like to be a woulda, coulda, shoulda person. I like to be like, yo, I did. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's all. That's it. What you got, Barber?
Yeah, no. You mentioned Gabe, like you have people that like look up to you and stuff like that. So, a question I wanted to ask you is like, do you have like any mentors, any people that you've looked up to, whether it be like throughout college or now that you're out of college and you're pursuing entrepreneurship, any mentors you look up to that help you in this journey that you're on?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I would be doing a disservice to the people in my life if I just name one person. So for me, I always give props to everyone that was involved in my life, whether I had a disagreement, whether I don't fuck with them now. Like my family first and foremost, my mother, my uncle, my grandfather. But like for people that everyone knows, like great businessmen out there like Jay-Z with the moves that he's been making. I've always followed his steps. I know how cliche that might sound, but that's a rapper that turned into a businessman. Like people don't realize how hard it is for most people to take that transition, to go from anything to a business person. Like that's not easy. So like really tracking his success, tracking how he's really been like go this, go that. Another person that honestly means a lot to me, Kobe Bryant. When that passing happened, it hurt a lot. That man's drive, mama mentality, like that's just real. Like that applies to everything you do in life. So it's like I take that with me and say, Kobe did it on the basketball court. I'm gonna do it in business, in which he transferred to and did it himself after he retired. So for me, it's just like looking up to greats like that. But then it all comes down to even looking to people that's on my level, looking at people that I went to school with, looking at people I worked with in corporate America. Those people inspire me too, because every conversation I have, I don't let it go over my head. I remember it as much as I possibly can, because everybody, every word, every thought, every speech that you listen to, it all plays a part into who you are and who you will become. So I'm thankful for everybody, every experience I honestly have. And that may sound cliche, but it's just like that's real, because I learn from everybody. I could learn from a 2-year-old kid, and people be like, I'm too smart for that. Like, you're never too smart to learn. And that's why I tell everybody, like, I'm a learner first. That's always what I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna continue to strive to become better at that.
That's dope, man. I had a manager at my previous company that always told me like 1% every day. As long as you're getting at least 1% moving that needle, like you say, like that's what matters. Just being better every single day and continuously learning.
100%. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's just like, how can you put yourself in a better position and be better the next day? I mean, sometimes you miss days, sometimes you go 10 days back, sometimes you take 20 steps forward. But at the end of the day, as long as you're at least breaking even or plus one a month from now, 3 months from now, that's what really matters.
That's all that really matters, man. Like, listen, man. I know I might not be there yet, but I know I'm farther than I was yesterday. You know what I mean? I know I'm a day closer than I was yesterday. You know what I mean? I know every day that passed by, I know I'm getting there. You know what I mean? And people gotta understand that, bro. We're not all Kylie Jenner. We all not the Kardashians. We all not like the Paul, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. We're not these people. Like, this is real life in the gutter type of shit where we are real life people doing this shit from the bottom, trying to get and just making our way. That's all we're trying to do. We don't got no connections. We don't got no crazy banana shit behind the scenes. You know what I mean? This is legitimate, real
Right.
shit that's happening, bro. You know what I mean? And we just setting the bar for people. I don't give a fuck if this shit make it or not. What matters is if as long as I touched one person and change someone's life. That's all that matters to me. That's I'm pretty sure. For I mean, maybe it's a little bigger, for other people, but you get it. You know what I mean? Like as long as you touch someone, as long as you inspire someone. So like my question to you is what advice do you have to people growing like to for people that are kids that maybe like 16 that like are young or 18 or in college that like maybe like someone that looks up to you like
Yeah.
what's your advice to get into this industry or to maybe not even just marijuana but like being a YouTuber, or entrepreneur, or anything, what's your advice to deal with like this negativity and this bullshit and getting out of the 9 to 5? Like, what's your advice to the up and coming wave that's below us right now?
Simple saying, try everything. If you don't try everything, you don't know what you're good at and you don't know what you're bad at. And I think that's the thing people forget. Like for sports, it's easy. Athletes, musicians, they're doing what they love from a young age. They found that out early. You got to try everything. If you don't try everything, you'll never reach your full potential. I know a lot of people miss their blessings because they don't try shit. They're like, oh, that's not for me. So like to young kids out there, young entrepreneurs, young businessmen and women, young athletes, young rappers, young whatever, try everything. Always move forward with the positive mindset. Don't let people bring you down. Even though they will, keep striving. Because I know one thing for me, it's just like when I look back on my college days, my high school days, I tried everything. I tried a lemonade stand. I tried cutting everybody's grass. I tried being the spokesperson at my school. I tried everything, and I finally found my niche, and that's just being, being a person that wants to give back to the community, and that honestly led me to creating Zip Run. It was all thought about how I can change my life forever, and how I thought I can change other people's, and I knew I could do that with Zip Run, and I knew once I was able to do that, I can actually spread, wealth. I'm not talking physical wealth, but mental wealth to my community and to the people I constantly speak with on a daily basis. So that's what it really comes down to. And I'll say it again, try everything, because that's what I did.
That was inspiring, bro. That's what I'm saying. We had someone on the podcast last time, Grace Moynihan, and she's a young student. She's a senior at Providence College, and she's a senior at Providence College. She's about to graduate. With COVID, being a student at Providence College during this COVID shit, it's tough, But she's a young student entrepreneur, and like you said, something very similar to what you said. She started with the lemonade stand with like the little like wrist braids and everything, and she started her own tanning business at fucking Providence College, like grinding. You know what I mean? Like she's smart, bro. And I was just like, even Brandon, like he was a barber in college. You know what I mean? Like you cut hair, you know what it is. You know what I mean? Like in the dorm rooms, like that's where that shit is at, bro. You know what I mean? Like I saw it in him at a young age, like that. So you just gotta pay the kudos. You're acting like I'm fucking like Samuel.
Yeah, I'm about to say like that was
like
literally like a few years ago, bro.
hey man, listen. These days I feel like fucking it's like years passing by, you know what I mean? But like I feel like I'm like Samuel Jackson, I'm gathering the Avengers and everything. But nah, it's true, man. Like for real, like you just see the difference in some people. There are some people that want to lax and chill in life and work their jobs and do their things, and that's awesome. I love that. Everyone's got a place and they'll do what they want to do. That shit ain't just shit is just not for me. You know what I mean? Like I want to go and do. I feel like it'd be a disservice if I didn't go super hard and do what I had to do. If I'm gonna be extra and be made fun of, fuck it. You suck my dick, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, bro. That's all it is, man. But we appreciate it. Barber, anything else you got to say?
Dude, nah, this was awesome, man. I really appreciate the time you spent with us, Gabe. I've learned a ton, not only about like, you and your background and your upbringing, but even about like the business, like starting your own startup. So really, I'm coming out of this like super motivated to continue pushing like Real Relate and, continuing this journey. But yeah, any like some words from you, Gabe?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, thank you guys for the opportunity. I mean, this was dope. Your energy on both sides was straight. It's really good from the time we spoke at before this podcast to now. It's just like doing things like this, I realized is like never a dull moment in life. And what I mean by that is like connecting with people. Like we said at the beginning of this podcast, is just it's an experience that we'll always keep forever. Like the crazy thing to me is when we 80 years old, we're gonna be looking back at this shit and be like, damn, like that was a good time. So it's like
I did that. I did that.
I did that. So it's
Did
just like
that.
enjoy every moment. And it's just like this was the pleasure was like all mine. I'm glad I had the opportunity to be here. We can teach your crowd, my crowd, how we can expand and get better and grow in life. So yeah, with that being said, if you got a dream, don't let nobody kill it.
For sure, man. Like I said, like, yo, Zip Run, they want females, man. They want drivers. Hit them up, man. That's what we spoke. Fuck cookies, man. We zip running it all 24/7. You know the fucking vibe. You just getting 2 loyal subscribers. You know what I mean? I love that shit, bro. I'm glad I got to meet you. Yo, actually, one last thing. We asked a silly question just for fun. Barber, the Kitchen Fries Club question. Do you know it? Can you ask it?
Yeah. So if you were a utensil in the kitchen and you could be any utensil you want, what would you be?
And why? And why?
Utensil in the kitchen. Ooh, that's like I'm trying to give you a real analytical question, but
Nah, yo, you
I'm
could
a,
be a spatula if you want. I don't give a
I,
fuck.
it's foot patties, you know.
Yeah.
But I would say like, you know, I would be a spoon, you know, because it's honestly it's like the most tried and used, one
God
of the
damn
most
it.
tried and used utensils.
God damn it. Everyone, like, all you entrepreneurs answer the same fucking answer, man. Like,
100%.
God damn, you guys are all so smart, man. Shit. Like, Grace
I mean,
answered the same question. They answered the same way.
you know, like a spoon, you try mad shit with a spoon, you eat mad shit with a spoon. Obviously, you could have said the fork, but the same thing. But that goes back to my point. You try everything with that object. You try new foods, you try new experiences. So it's like back to my original point. Try everything, and you're gonna be straight in life. You're gonna find it, whether it's 22, whether it's 30, whether it's 40, whether it's 80. And I think that's something that social media as like brainwashed some people to realize like if I'm not this millionaire by the age of 18, I fucked up. And I post some shit on my Instagram about that earlier. It's just like people got to realize if you're successful by 50, that's a win. If you're successful before you pass away, that's a win. So like to me, that's what it really comes down to. Like just try shit. You gonna fail. I failed. Everybody fails. Your favorite person failed. So it's gonna happen. And get prepared for it.
Jay-Z flopped a couple times. Drake
For sure.
flopped a couple times.
Yep.
You know, people, shit happens, bro. But I appreciate it, man. It was a great talk, man. Thank you, yo, Barber. You know what it is, man. This bottle of wine, the
Killed it.
naked grape, it's almost done. You know what
Killed
I
it.
mean? I'm about to kill it, but thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it, Gabe. Yo, Barber, do the outro, man.
All right. Well, Gabe, it was a pleasure, man. You kept it super real, but most of all, you kept it relatable. So, you know, until next time, this is gonna be a dope one for the viewers.
Yep.
Looking forward to catching up next time.
Yep, we're gonna catch up soon. Hit me.